Welcome to Take Notice, Amplifying Black Stories. I'm your host, Allison Preisinger-Heggins. The mission of this project is to take notice, to listen, to hold space by amplifying Black stories, experiences, and voices. Conversations on family life, finding joy, and interests of folks in our country who encounter racism on a daily basis. A portion of these discussions will be dedicated to holding space for guests who are comfortable sharing their personal experiences with racism. Stories help us all learn and connect. We are here to listen, to take notice. Thank you for being with us. Let's take a moment to recognize, to take notice of the voices that are so often unheard. Land acknowledgement statements are an important part of honoring those whose land we now live and work on. I have chosen to begin each episode this way to spark ideas and keep these conversations in the front of our minds so that we may learn how to do better. I would like to acknowledge the land on which this episode was created. I would like to show gratitude to the traditional ancestral land of the Snoqualmie, Shoalwater Bay, and Chinook tribes, recognizing that these names are not the original names of the people of these areas. As I continue to learn how to better acknowledge Native people of these lands, I will adjust the wording of the beginning of each episode. I encourage listeners to research the land on which you live and are listening right now. Recognizing this is just the beginning. Welcome to another episode of Take Notice, and thank you for being here with us. We recently had the opportunity to visit Black Coffee Northwest in Shoreline, Washington, and this was back in April, on April 17th, and we were able to conduct shorter micro-interviews with anyone who was interested. So thank you to Darnisha Weary and Erwin Weary, who allowed us to come hang out, set up our portable gear, and do these interviews throughout their bustling Saturday. It was a really awesome day, and it was a lot of fun to connect with the community there, and we ended up recording 8 micro interviews. So like I said, it was a busy day, and I think every Saturday they host different vendors from the area in the coffee shop, and that day was no different. But also they had a camera crew hanging out and a speaker giving a talk to their young interns. So it was a lot going on, and the energy there was just positive, welcoming, and vibrant, and it was really fun. You'll hear it in the interviews also. There's background noise. Usually it's quiet for these interviews for the most part. But for this one, you'll hear the background noise of coffee being made, the laughter between friends, connections happening throughout the interviews. And so it was a great vibe, a lot of fun. So I'm excited to share these interviews in 2 parts. This week we have Colina Bruce, Josiah Jean-Pierre, Richard Brown Jr., and Erwin Weary. And in 2 weeks, we'll share the second half of interviews that we captured. Instead of doing our regular ad today, I just want to say, pay attention to who each of our guests are saying to pay attention to, whether it's their business or who they want to highlight. There's some great businesses and people to support within these interviews. So get your pencils out, or you can find all the information in our show notes or on our website. We hope you enjoy, and thanks again for being here. Please enjoy my conversations with Colina Bruce, Josiah Jean-Pierre, Richard Brown Jr., and Erwin Weary, and be sure to find them, follow them, and share. Thanks for sitting down for a little micro interview with me to Take Notice.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Can we start with what is your name, and can you spell that out for me?
Yes. So my name is Colina Bruce, and it is COLINA BRUCE.
What is it that you do?
So I have a candle company called Noir Luxe Candle Co., and I launched in September. And I specialize in handcrafted soy wax wood candles. So that is my side full-time job, and my full-time job is at Seattle University. I'm the Director of Education Partnerships for the Seattle University Youth Initiative. So I oversee our school partnerships. I work with scholars and families in our community to just make sure they have access to whatever they need to support their scholars' academic success. And then I work alongside admin and SPS district staff to make sure that like we're just supporting our scholars and families in the community.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, great. It sounds like you are very busy.
I'm busy. I do that. I'm a mom and a wife, and
Yeah.
always go, go, go.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have two. So I have a 11-year-old who just actually will be going back to school in person on Monday.
Oh, exciting. Good.
And she's starting middle school, so she's excited, but she's also very nervous. And I have a 2-year-old. We are in the terrific 2 stage.
Oh.
So
I hear ya. Sure.
yeah, so he keeps us busy.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that must be exciting and also very anxiety ridden with going back to school in middle school, but also after all this nuttiness. So.
I think it's exciting. It's also there obviously are some challenges with like young folks not being vaccinated and just knowing that if there's one case, they kind of close down the school, and there's just so much uncertainty around it. But also this is like a transitional period for middle school students. It's like when they start kind of figuring out who they are and being social and all of that. So I think there's definitely pros and cons, but for the most part, my daughter's excited, so I'm excited for her.
Good.
Yeah.
Focusing on the excitement.
Yeah,
part.
for
That's
sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Where did you grow up, and who were you surrounded by?
I grew up in Seattle. I'm born and raised. My family was actually, we had a family home in the Central District, my grandma's house, and so I have always been surrounded by a big family. My mom has 5 brothers and 4 sisters, and they all have kids, and most of us have kids, so definitely super family oriented. Traditional kind of black family from the Central District, rooted here. And then my husband is also from here, and both of our fathers are pastors. So definitely like surrounded by the church community.
Okay.
And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. How many siblings did you have?
I have 3. I'm the oldest of 4 here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
all Seattleites.
Yeah. Everybody stuck around.
Everybody's here. Yeah. My sister that's 3 years younger than me did go, well, she went to Wazoo, which is not like off.
Sure. Yeah.
But that was like the furthest. And then she's lived in some other places. She's actually lived in Australia for
wow.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But she's back here now. And my other siblings are here as well. Yeah.
Can you describe a moment or a memory of when you felt joyful?
Yeah. I often hold on to things that bring me joy. So a lot of moments and memories bring me joy. But I think it's usually these moments usually have to do with my kids. And my daughter, she is a student athlete, and so one of the kind of highlights of her, she was a gymnast for 7 years, and one of the highlights was making it to the podium for one of these competitions. And I think I was probably more like nervous and excited than she was, and she was competing, but I'm like checking my phone trying to see the scores. And I just remember like she made it to second place by like a hair. She would have had first place, but anyways, it was a huge like sigh of relief for her because she didn't know how she was doing throughout the competition. So when they called her name, I already knew, so I was waiting for them to call her name, and I just saw her face light up. And I think moments like that where, you see your kids excited for the fruits of their labor is pretty cool. Yeah, there's, I think, little things like that. I don't know. There's so many of those kind of moments, I think. Recently, just throughout the pandemic, school has been virtual. So my daughter had submitted a video for their talent show, and she found out that she won the talent show. And she was in 5th period, had no idea. And so she's a very kind of nonchalant kid. So she FaceTimed me and was like, guess what? And she was really excited. And again, like just seeing, my kid who's kind of acts like nothing really phases her, be very excited, brought me a lot of joy. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What did she do for the talent show?
She sang. She did. She was actually a part of a program. There's an organization called Act on Stage, which is a Black theater program, and they did 28 days of like Black history for February, and so she was a part of one of the days, and she did "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Sang that song.
Yeah.
And so they had recorded the video, and so she submitted that for her talent show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. What a cool moment.
Yeah, sweet.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So we're meeting and doing these interviews at Black Coffee Northwest in Shoreline.
Yeah.
What does this space mean to you?
It means so much. I mean, Darnisha, who's one of the owners, is a sorority sister of mine, and so just seeing her, put this idea into motion and like bring this. It's not just, about coffee. It's a community hub, and it's a gathering space, and it's also just like a proud moment for like Black folks in, the surrounding areas of Seattle. Like folks will drive out here just to support. And especially like in the midst of the pandemic, having a small business and feeling that support from your community, I'm sure is gratifying, but it's also just like, it's important. It's a necessity. So yeah, I've been super proud of her, but also, like I said, just the opportunity to be in space where community is being built, where young folks are having the opportunity to develop new leadership skills, and knowing that like this is important for the Black community is a reason why I continue to come here, and I'll always support. But I'm also just like honored to be, to have the opportunity to be here so often. And I think like being here, you feel that it's always love, it's always like good vibes, it's always good people. So that's always something to look forward to as well.
Yeah. How long have you been coming to set up your booth here?
I've been here, this is my third time.
Oh, okay.
Typically I come with my daughter. She also is running a business, and she sells keychains that are resin handcrafted keychains. And so that's also been really cool for us to come together and have like mommy-daughter table and talk about business and really think about like what does it mean to have an idea and then have some strategies and put things in motion, and then to have people support you. So yeah, we've been coming for a few months and plan to start coming consistently like once a month.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity for both of you to hang and do that.
Yeah, it's nice. If seeing her get up early on a Saturday morning to, be an entrepreneur is like pretty cool.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a spot that we can support you online or find you online?
Yeah, so my website is norluxcandleco.com. And then I'm also Norlux Candle Co. on all the socials. So, yeah.
Well, we will put that in our show notes, too.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Josias. It's Jean-Pierre, Josias, JEAN-PIERRE.
Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me and taking a moment to do this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. What is it that you do? Are you a student? Do you work? What are you up to?
I'm an entrepreneur. I run a credit franchise, a tax franchise. I'm also a business consultant and an author. So I help businesses get funding for capital. So if businesses cannot get funding because the banks are saying no to them, we say yes to the businesses and corporations, help them grow and flourish. I'm an author of 2 books called The Power of Your Words and What Is Your Why. And I'm also a speaker, so I travel around and speak about empowerment, justice, equality, and also about diversity and inclusion.
Oh, that's awesome. Such a well-rounded resume. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Where did you grow up and who are you surrounded by?
So I was born in the Caribbean, in the island of Haiti, but I grew up in SeaTac, right by the airport. And I was surrounded by just good quality men growing up. When the highway wasn't the highway as it is right now, it was very dangerous and crazy, chaotic. And as somebody who grew up without my dad, I knew that I needed a father role, a father figure, mentors, and guidance before I fall to the traps of society of what it shows what manhood is looking like. So I surround myself with good, strong brothers, strong men, my church brothers, my church family members, and that's who I used to surround myself with, those kinds of people.
That's awesome. Can you describe a moment or memory of when you felt joyful?
Yes. So I was diagnosed with epilepsy as a baby. And from K to 12, I heard from doctors, educators, teachers, instructors, for me to give up. Give up in life because of my epilepsy that I had. That people told me because of my epilepsy, because of me being a special needs student at the time, and because I had an IEP, that I will not make it in life. That my dreams and my goals and my ambitions will never come out to be true because of one, of how I look, a black man, and second, because I was a black man with a disability. Even through that whole moment in time, I always strive for the better, strive for the good, and I always strive to believe that I could do whatever I want to do in my life. And my joyful moment was when I was asked to speak at a national conference in Kansas City, Missouri, called ASHA, which is for American School Health Association, speaking about disabilities and cultural competency training for educators and teachers. After that moment, I felt joyful, where I felt like, you know what, if this is a milestone for me, and if I could do this at 17, speaking at a national conference full of educators, lawyers, and teachers and doctors, and I'm the keynote, I could do anything else.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great experience that sounds like. You said you said I can't think of the word. EIP or IEP?
IEP.
Can you describe what that is?
It's an individual education plan. So basically what that is when you have an IEP, you are graded different. So my IEP is, you could tell kids who are special needs in school, but you couldn't tell I was special needs because I don't look like I have a disability. I talk fine, I'm normal, I walk straight. So when people see me, they'll see a normal student, but they don't see the learning disability aspect because of epilepsy. So I had a hidden disability that people will never tell or will never see. So because of that, my IEP was, I was in classes with normal kids, but I had another teacher in the class with me in every class I was in to get special assistance. So when you have an IEP, you have accommodation learning to your learning, and you get graded different, but it's more catered to you as an individual and how you learn.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah.
So we're meeting and doing these interviews at Black Coffee Northwest in Shoreline. What does this space mean to you?
This space is a space where hope begins for people who are in the Snohomish area, who are black and brown. When you talk about having a business and a flourishing business in a whole predominantly white neighborhood as a black business, it speaks volume. Especially this place to me means, you could push through no matter what circumstance hits you. Because before this business was open, they were hit with arson. A couple months ago, they were hit with a swastika logo right on their property. But they're still standing. So this place to me gives me actually hope and assurance that no matter what happens in your journey as a black business owner or a black man, you can still stand through it all and push through no matter what happens.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So we were chatting before we started, and you have all kinds of stuff that I bet you could share about what you have going on. So can you share that? Whatever you want to share.
Well, definitely. So my book could be in Barnes & Noble, barnesandnoble.com. I have a third book being published end of this month. It's coming out end of this month, and it's called Our Cry for Justice. It's a poetry book, and in this poetry book, it's not just justice about law enforcement, what's going on in law enforcement. It's really a poetry book about every aspect of life where justice is needed, from human trafficking, through domestic violence, through whatever life scenarios that people go through. Justice is needed, and justice needs to happen, and justice needs to be relevant. So with this poetry book, it's every poem is 10 people's story that goes through something. And instead of having people to share their heartful story of what's been going on, I said, you know what, let me use different people's story in different areas of DV, domestic violence, human trafficking, and get these victims and see if they're willing to talk about what they go through. So then I'll use that story to put in one poem, that will share the life experiences from 10 different stories, but put it in one message.
That sounds so interesting, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out. So we can find it at Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble, yep.
What's the title again?
It's Our Cry for Justice.
Our Cry for Justice, okay.
Yep. End of this month it comes out. I can say if you put my name on just Barnes & Noble, Josiah Jean-Pierre, I'll pop up right there. You'll see all the lists of my books listed.
That's amazing. Awesome. Do you have a website as well? Or
Not yet.
Okay.
It will be coming out.
Good. Awesome. Is there anything else on your mind or in your heart that you'd like to share today?
No.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me for a little micro interview for Take Notice. Can we start with just let me know what your name is and spell it out for me?
Yeah, my name is Richard Brown Jr. Simple, Rchard Brown, from Seattle, Washington.
What is it that you do?
Oh man, so I dibble and dabble in everything a little bit. My day job is a assistant principal at Bothell High School. I've been a school counselor for the last 7 years, and you know, education is real big in my family and myself as well. So I think being able to provide for students in a manner that helps them realize their potential and their dreams for after high school, that's really been my biggest thing. But I also own a barbecue sauce business called the Brown Family Barbecue Sauce. It's a side, I don't want to call it a side hustle, but it's a business that we've started in the last 4 years, and it's just been growing exponentially. We have now we're in 6 different stores in the last year. The pandemic has helped us out tremendously.
Wow.
And I think it's just because of the fact that, you know, when you're stuck at home and you have nothing but time to think about things, and you plan and plot, and this plan is coming to fruition right now for us. So
there you go.
It's been great, yeah.
Yeah, less time traveling to and fro.
Right.
Get that commute time back and all of it. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. That's good. Some positive stuff that comes out of this last nutty year, right?
Right, exactly.
Wonderful. Are the stores that the barbecue sauce, is it in the Seattle area or more Bothell? Or?
Oh, great question. So the stores that we're actually in, and I'm going to plug them right quick, we're in Double D Meats. It's in Montlake Terrace. That was our very first store. It's Kim's birthday today, but I happen to go up there and say happy birthday to her later on. But yeah, we're at Double D Meats. We're also in Seattle Fish Guys. They're located on 23rd and Jackson, down in the Central District. We just got into Leschi Market. Leschi Market is down there on Leschi Avenue, that Seward Park area. We're in Top of the Hill, Quality Meats, up in Renton in the Highland area. And then we're in Office, which is a Louisiana store down in Kent. And so we're just trying to keep it mom and pop right now, because our sauce, one of our slogans is every batch is handmade, because we make it by ourselves, you know what I mean? And we don't want to, obviously, you know, if push comes to shove and Costco or Walmart comes calling, then we'll talk about it then. But right now, we want to make sure that everybody who tries our sauce understands that we put our love into it, right? And that's part of who we are. But yeah, so that's where we're at in the stores.
Wonderful.
We do different events, like here at Black Coffee. We do different pop-up events just to kind of help reach more folks. But again, we believe in every batch handmade, so we make them in small batches.
That's awesome. Yeah. I look forward to trying some for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
You said you grew up in the Seattle area.
Yeah.
What area of Seattle, and who were you surrounded by?
Great question. So we actually grew up Mercer Island area, over on the east side. Yeah. Mercer Island is Mercer Island. That's all I can say.
Sure.
You know, we have a lot of people that we know out there still. Family. One of my family, my uncle is downtown Freddie Brown. So from the Seattle Supersonics back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. So, he lived out there, so we just kind of migrated with him.
Sure. Awesome.
From there. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Can you describe a moment or memory when you felt joyful?
I will say when I met my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
My wife is my joy. She pushes me in ways that you're supposed to be pushed. You know what I mean? In growth, and professionally and mentally, and just in marriage. And so I think for her, she's my joy, to be honest with you. I think we started the business together because we started it as a couples thing. It was more for jarring our sauce for our friends and family because they liked it so much when we would do barbecues. And then she just kind of pushed me to do more, right? And so we just kind of really started the motion, and now we're 5 years in and doing great right now. So,
Yeah, some of the best things seem to just grow from those just really organic, natural moments, and that's wonderful that you have that partnership to do that with.
Yeah.
It's really great. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So we're meeting at Black Coffee Northwest in Shoreline, Washington. What does this space mean to you?
Being a black man and watching them grow and watching them provide for other young black youngsters, I don't want to call them kids, but students or whatever, the youth, I think it means so much, just in this area alone, just in these times that we're in. I think it's providing them an opportunity to not only have their voice be heard, but also to be a part of change, be a part of the social change. Yeah, we talk about the buzzwords of racial equity, justice, and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, it's the action behind those things. And I think Black Coffee Northwest is putting those actionable words into play. And just, what they've accomplished so far, I feel like it's been, like I said, again, it's been a great thing to see moving forward. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
no worries at all.
Is there anything else that... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the only thing I would say is Brown Family Barbecue Sauce.
Yes.
www.brownfamilycompany.com. You can order your sauce from there. We're also on Facebook and Instagram with Brown Family Barbecue Sauce. Find us, taste us, come see us, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But come check us out, man. And we actually... we don't have our own restaurant, if people were wondering, but we do pop-up plate sales. We're going to have a plate sale coming up real soon. We're out of Burien, so it's going to be down closer to Burien area.
Okay.
But check us out, man. Follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah. We'll have all your links there on our show notes as well, so people can find you. And wonderful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with me for a
course.
few minutes. And I'm looking forward to go checking out your booth now.
Yeah, come on over.
All right,
All right.
Thank you.
My name is Erwin Weary, and it's spelled Erwin. Last name is Weary.
What is it that you do?
So I am the CEO and owner of Black Coffee Northwest, and I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah, it shows. It shows through, even me just being here one day for a few hours.
Yeah.
I can just tell, the kind of vibe and joy that comes from this place doesn't come from anywhere other than someone who loves what they do.
That's probably
awesome.
the best compliment I could get is just people feeling like they belong here from all backgrounds. We're a black-owned company, black-owned business, and we just want people to know that, hey, we're out here and we can do things, and this is what community looks like when we all come together. It's just amazing. I love it. I love what I do, and coffee is amazing. Our pop-up vendors are amazing. Our pastries, all that stuff is great. But what really makes me smile is when I see people just enjoying the vibe and everything here. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Where did you grow up, and who were you surrounded by?
Yeah, I grew up in Yakima, Washington, and I was surrounded by my mom, my dad, my 3 brothers, and they really strive for excellence. Really, I mean, we didn't grow up with tons of money and opportunities, but in our community, there were a lot of great leaders in our community, amazing leaders in the church. When we went to our local churches, just people in the neighborhood. Even though our neighborhood had a lot of pitfalls, but there was just some amazing leaders. And so as a youth, you can look up to those people, and even though you might be in a situation where you could go down the wrong paths, having good leadership is important because it lets you know that you don't have to choose those wrong paths. And so that's what I really want to bring to Black Coffee, is just a sense of you can come here and see leadership, what leadership looks like, what community looks like, what giving back looks like, what treating people right looks like, And so, I think, growing up where I grew up, it's just important to, it helped form who I am today.
Yeah. What kind of family did you have growing up too?
Oh,
Your
my.
siblings or?
Yeah, we're all musicians, and we all like to laugh a lot.
Nice.
So, mom's kind of leading the show, even though she's the shortest in the house. And then there's my dad, and he rules with the velvet hammer. and then there's us. We're all musicians. We all like entrepreneurship and education, and not just education in the sense of just learning, stuff, but learning stuff that we can actually use to navigate our surroundings and the earth we live on. So, just a lot of it is common sense, but people don't that they don't think to use. And then a lot of it is actually, just learning school, like reading and writing and traveling to see outside your comfort zones and your areas. I mean, it's important to do all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm a musician as well, so I can hear you on that stuff. What do you play?
I play bass guitar.
Oh, sweet.
I do a little bit of singing too, and all that, but I really love bass guitar. My other brothers, they all play piano like ridiculously well, to where I don't even want to play the piano no more because they're like super professionals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. Can you describe a moment or a memory where you felt joyful?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could talk about today. I mean, just coming in here and having the vendors have a great time. They're selling product. People love the product that they're selling. I can look out and see that, my baristas are absolutely having a great time, and people are supporting them. It's just good. Today is a memorable day, actually.
Wonderful. That's a great answer. Thank you. Yeah. So you already kind of shared this, but my last question is, what does this space mean to you? And you kind of shared that in within your other answers, but is there anything else you'd like to share about that?
Yeah, I just think it's important that the Black community can have a place to connect and join, because we are spread out in Washington and we don't get a chance to see what support really looks like from even our own people. And then, we also want to show people, like, this is how you show up. And I'm so happy that Shoreline is getting it, man. And, we're going to have a lot of fun things going on here that really brings different backgrounds of people together. And this is a place where you can learn about different backgrounds. And, absolutely, we want to do this thing together and just make it as big as possible. Make it as absolute big as possible. And so this space is really important to me, just not from a business standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. This is something that, growing up, I always wanted to go. I always wanted something like this where, back in the day, it was the barber shops that you go to and have real conversations and meet people and things like that. This is one of those places. We don't cut hair in here, but we sell coffee and merchandise and smiles. We just love what we do here. I love it, and I just can't wait for the future.
Wonderful. Thank you, Erwin, for sitting down and taking the time to do a little micro interview with me for Take Notice. I appreciate it a lot.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting us set up here today, too.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it.
No worries.
It's
It's a
wonderful.
pleasure to have you here, and Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much to Colina, Josias, Richard, and Erwin for sharing some time with me a few weeks ago and sharing your story with us for Take Notice. Thank you so much to Darnisha and Erwin again for letting us set up in your shop. Everybody go check out Black Coffee Northwest. And be sure to check out part 2 of our micro interviews in 2 weeks. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss it. You'll be hearing from Antoinette, Melanie, Rachel, and Maylia. Thanks again for being with us. Thank you for joining us for Take Notice, Amplifying Black Stories. Please subscribe and follow us on social media. We are at Take Notice Podcast. It would really help us out if you could take a couple of minutes to review our podcast. Thank you for your support. Take Notice, Amplifying Black Stories is produced, hosted, and edited by Allison Preisinger-Heggins, co-produced by Amanda Ray. Music by Version Big 5 featuring Darius Higgins. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for taking notice.
Saying that